Let's take a look at how we create and configure reducing project forecasts. For this demonstration, we'll be looking at reducing forecasts. Specifically, we'll review the forecast model and what settings you need to define to actually allow for reducing forecasts. Then we'll look at the project and check the configurable settings for that are around reducing forecasts. Those are at the project group level as well. And then we'll create a reducing forecast, and then we'll post some transactions to watch it reduce. All right, so we're going to look at a reducing project forecast, and there's a couple pieces of setup to even use these. The first piece is that you have to have a forecast model that actually reduces. So we can go to the project management and accounting module, and then under setup, there's the forecast node, wherever that is. Oh, there it is, right in the middle. And then forecast models. So from here is where you can define your different forecast models. And ultimately what we're trying to do is create a reducing forecast or a remaining forecast, interchangeable terms. But basically all we need, or here we go, I want this one right here. I want the remaining one, which is already set up. So, nope, I want the, sorry, right here, this one. And it's not in edit mode, that's what's fooling me. So now we're in edit mode, so I can see that when I'm working with one that has a budget type of none, these toggles are all editable. When you're actually on one that has a budget type, the toggles are not editable because they should remain static for budgeting purposes. So for forecasting purposes, though, there's quite a few different toggles that we can trigger, but the ones that we're worried about for forecast reduction or reducing are over here. The ones right here under the automatic forecast reduction group are the most important. This will allow your forecast to reduce when actuals are posted. So we just want to make sure these are all toggled to yes. And then require sufficient remaining budget basically means if you're reducing the budget and you hit zero or go below zero, or if you try and go below zero, it should blow up with an error. And if you want that to happen, you can flag these as yes. So we'll go ahead and hit save. The second piece of setup is on the actual project itself, or you can do this at the project group level, and it should roll to the project when you create a new project of that group. So I just created a project called Reducing Forecast Example, and what we need to make sure is that we actually turn on Reducing Forecasts. So what that means and how you turn it on is under the Budget and Forecast tab, and it's the Verify Costs Against Remaining Forecasts. And this is if you actually want to verify. This is the error message that I was talking about. But notice it's grayed out, and I am in edit mode right now because I defaulted edit mode when I come to this form. But if you can't trigger this thing, it's basically telling you that you have budget control already turned on, and that's what's going to be used to verify that you have enough budget. If you don't want to use budget control and you want to use forecast to verify, you can. And you can toggle this to yes. So it's either use budgeting or use forecast as your verification process that you have enough budget. So we'll go ahead and hit save. And then from here, it's as easy as entering a forecast. So we'll just go enter an hours forecast, make this very simple. And I already have one existing, and it's of original forecast type. So this isn't going to reduce because it's original. So what I'm going to do is copy this into a remaining forecast. So I'll use the copy functionality, and we'll copy to the remaining forecast. I got to remember which one I want, and I'll hit OK. Oh, I copied the wrong one. Anyways, I'll just flip this over to remaining forecasts. So now I have a forecast under the original forecast model and one under the remaining forecast model for project management work, and they both are sitting at $100. So basically, if I jump back and we just post some hours, I'll just create an hours journal, make sure it's project management category, that's the key here. Here we go, and we'll just post 10 hours. And once I post these 10 hours and we go back and look at our remaining budget, our remaining forecast, we'll call it, on the plan tab, hours forecast, we can see that it reduced 10 because we posted actuals. So where those toggles that we were looking at on the project to verify basically are saying if you try and do this, so if we go back to an hours journal, create a new one, go to the lines, create a new line, and we try and post 95 hours, is it going to enforce that we don't go over our forecast? So you can see the journal is not posted and the update is canceled. It's telling us the cost of this transaction would exceed the budget amount for forecast R forecast and cannot be posted. Delete or modify this entry. So if you allow overages, that's fine. You just have to make that toggle on the forecast and budget tab turned off, and it would just reduce your forecast down to 0, or your remaining forecast down to 0. So that's just a quick look at reducing project forecasts.